Now, it's no secret out there that volatility has certainly rocked the stock market lately. It's been especially true for tech stocks, like the companies that made up the Magnificent Seven, but those shares are still up despite the recent hits. Wealth manager Sandra Cho tells Yahoo Finance what her next move would be.
One of the best things to just know in your heart is that there is going to be volatility in the markets, and to accept it and then just lean on that diversification. If you've been in the Mag 7, if you've made that play with the AI stocks, good for you. There's been a huge run up. That said, at what point do you start taking those chips off the table and cashing them in?
So again, it comes down to taking that emotion out of it, which is easier said than done. Do you find it hard to persuade clients to, quote, cash in their chips on big gains, or do they put their trust in you guys for that?
They very much look to us to help them navigate when to sell, when to buy, when to rebalance, and when to adjust the risk level based on where they are in their either working or retirement journey. So, I will say this, I've been guilty of it, and a lot of people I think have been, where you can watch an investment run up very quickly, and then you start justifying in your own mind, oh, this can continue to go up, and the next thing you know, it reverses, and then it just becomes a downward spiral, and then people are saying, why didn't we sell? I've said it about my own investment. Why didn't I sell? It's very interesting. And I will tell you, this is an interesting little story about this. So when I was teaching school, I was preparing for my movement into the financial services business, and I had already received my New York Stock Exchange license, but I'm teaching, and there was a fellow who was a clergyman, and he donated his time to come in and talk to students that were attending the high school that I was teaching at. And one day he approached me in the cafeteria and he says, I understand you know something about the market. And I said, well, I'm learning about it, and I'm preparing to move into the financial services industry. And he pulls a list out of his pocket. And this was in 1999, which, if you remember back to that time, that was when the tech bubble burst. Mm-hmm. And so I'm looking at this list, and it was every tech company known to man. And it wasn't the big boys. It wasn't Apple. It wasn't Alphabet. It wasn't any of those. And he asks me what I think, and I tell him, I go, wow, you're really not diversified here. You've rolled all of your bets into the tech sector, and I would be very, very careful moving forward, because this could change in a very much of a hurry. And when that bubble burst, I had moved on to a new teaching assignment in a new school, and when the tech sector bubble burst, all I thought about was that guy, and I said, I hope he listened, and I hope he rebalanced his portfolio. He did say that he had an advisor, so I'm hoping that advisor reached out to him and said, look, you're violating a lot of not laws, but, diversifying a portfolio, being in multiple sectors and spreading your risk out, that's all very good. So don't look a gift horse in the mouth. If it makes sense to sell, then sell. I would say that an investment position really consists of a couple different elements. If I owned 1,000 shares of a stock, doesn't matter what the company is, the decision I would have to make is, how many of those shares am I going to hold for a very long period of time? So let's say it's 500. And that means that the other 500 would be a trading position. So if that stock is currently trading at $100 a share, and they're saying that it's got a target price of 130, At 130, I would think I'm going to be taking some of those trade position shares off the table. So you should be selling, and then when prices readjust and you can rebalance the portfolio, you might be able to buy back into some of those names and buy them at a deep discount. But I also feel that a lot of people get in trouble because when they start thinking that they're behind in terms of how much they've saved for retirement, the most likely scenario is maybe I should be saving more money, putting more money out of my paycheck into investments. But a lot of them end up taking a lot more risk. So how much of your investment is a trade? How much of your investment is for long term? You got to have your fundamentals lined up, and that's where we will help you at America's Retirement Headquarters. Excuse me.
Helping you develop that plan is really what it's all about. We talk about diversification. It is not just owning a bunch of different stocks because, as we know, with mutual funds and things, you can be, vertically diversified where you've got a lot of the same positions in there, but finding things that maybe aren't necessarily tied to the market to utilize as strategies to protect when the market is being less than favorable, as we've seen volatility creep back into the picture lately. And more important than that, not letting emotions dictate your decisions, because that is almost a surefire way to make sure that you are going to make mistakes. Do the opposite of buy low, sell high, panic sell, and then maybe get back into the market at the wrong time, if at all. Having that non-emotional approach to it, having that discipline put into your plan is as simple as reaching out and setting up a time to speak with the guys at America's Retirement Headquarters to do that, to start taking control of what you can control. Give a call right now, 419-794-3030. Set up a time to speak with the guys, or go to the website, and you can also find out about upcoming events and register for that as well at arhq.com.